So after 1807 in New Jersey, but I think more generally in the early decades of the 19th century, we do see women begin to be what Rosemarie Zagarri refers to as a backlash against women occurs, and they are pushed out of politics and the political sphere.
Even though they did not vote in New Jersey after 1807, the memory of that was not completely lost. And it was kept alive, I think, especially among Quakers, but especially among women's communities in New Jersey. And by the time you get to the first women's movement of the 1840s, there are references to the experiment in women voting in New Jersey, and it's cited as a precedent. So the notion wasn't completely forgotten, and it proved that women could vote on the same terms as men.
And as that happens, women activists really turn to new things like education initiatives to kind of prepare young girls for future political participation. Many women, for instance, begin opening schools. And really what they do is they lay a groundwork for white women, but also for some women of color to be educated in those schools, to launch what will become the middle class reform movement of the 1820s and 30s. And of course, in the 1840s and 1850s, that will bleed into the women's suffrage movement, or the traditional trajectory of that movement as many people understand it today. These schools offer women new types of education and courses. So they are being trained in things like embroidery, but they're also learning new skills and topics like mathematics, arithmetic, geography, history, music, and literature. The women who are educated in these schools become the next class of women and the next generation of women activists, reformers, and eventually suffragists in the mid-19th century.